Caves. We all know what caves are, and I'm not going to bother explaining them to you because you're not a third grader. Well, actually, you know what, maybe you are. Anyways, besides the point, underground houses, those are cool, so that's what we're doing today. Building an underground cityscape in a cave because that's cool. Okay, yet again, like my last video, I'm going to have a bit of inspiration, and this first photo here, you've seen it pop up a few times in the intro, is a Polish salt mine in this place called Wilickia, or Wilickia. I might be saying that wrong. If there's anybody Polish in the comments, let me know the proper pronunciation. Anyway, this is a former salt mine that was in operation for 700 years and ceased mining in 2007. And in their free time, as you can see all over the walls and that little statue on the left, they recreated all sorts of statues, and apparently Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, I believe over on the right there, that is it carved into the wall. So I do like the idea of using this as almost a central hub point that then goes into other buildings inside of the city. So we'll start off with kind of replicating the general vibe of this. I don't want to go completely exact. I want to have some artistic freedom, unlike in the last video, but I think this will be really cool. Here we are. I found a cave. So my idea here is to have the entrance kind of just come in to this hollow pre-generated cave. I was going to make my own cave, and I have seen your comments, guys. I've read them. I've read all of them, and you guys really, really, really want me to use Axiom. And I will get on that eventually. I just, at the moment, am very busy and do not have the time to learn the mod. But when I do become unbusy again, I will try to take the time and learn the mod. But at the moment, pre-generated Minecraft caves are what I'm going to be using. So my idea here, like I said, I want to build a sort of hub area. And I think it would be cool to first have a sort of almost vault door, and then a cool, like, lit up, grotto-looking path going in through here. And then, you know, once we get down here, we can start breaking out an area to build the hub. And then maybe even have the mines come out to these neighboring spaghetti caves, and then that could be how the city works. I don't know, there's a lot to do here, and I want to get started, so let's get into it. So I'm thinking a combination of stone bricks, a bit of andesite, and ooh, what if we try some of this reinforced deep slate? And then maybe a bit of tuff in there too. I'm just gonna grab like a whole bunch of more gray looking blocks and kind of just see what I can build with that. Ooh, wait, I actually kind of like that. You get some soul fire lanterns going. Maybe offset them a bit. That's not bad so far. I guess we could use some like more exotic plants out here since we are in creative mode. So let's just use like some of these sniffer plants. I kind of do like the ferns, though. That's nice. I have an idea here. I have an idea. You don't get to build with this in survival, but I could use a bit of suspicious gravel to just give, like... Is that actually really giving any more texture than normal gravel? Like, ever so slightly, right? They're obviously different. I wonder if maybe I could bring, like, stone buttons in here? Yeah, those could act as, like, pebbles. I'm really into doing the whole, like, over-detailing vibe. I think it's so fun to over-detail. It's just nice to put, like, all the little tiny, like, pebbles in on the walls and stuff. Oh, hello. I completely forgot that there were multicolored chickens in the game. Look at him. He's so majestic and beautiful. Mwah. Alright, get out of here. I'm busy. I got a video to record, bro. Get out of here. Go. Maybe something like that. It's kind of like a folded open curtain door? I don't really know. So I can't... Oh, I can. How did I do that? I can hang one there. But I can't hang another one off of it? Oh, wait, you know what I just remembered existed? We can get some pale hanging moss. Maybe that'll work. Does it go down? Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. That's literally it. That was the exact block I was looking for. And I could place them there. And there. And there. And we could just keep placing them for infinity and beyond. But no, now that like kind of shrouds the door a bit. Like it hides it without like completely hiding it. So this is kind of the idea I have for the outside at the moment, right? Like it's kind of like a garden vibe. And then you come and walk in. And now I gotta work on this entrance area. Wow, just adding slabs to the walls and floors really makes the cave feel like it's super cramped. With just like that little bit of effort, just putting some of these slabs in. I think I'm gonna put a bit of pointed dripstone in too. I think that'll help. So in real life, like I said, this is a salt mine, and they don't really have, you know, salt in Minecraft. So I thought, why not the next best thing, glowstone, which is not even close to salt. But I feel like it would be kind of cool if this had like, you know, a reason to exist. It's a glowstone mine, so maybe what they do is they mine glowstone. I don't know. That's a cool thing, right? Now we need to actually work on thinking and racking my brain around how we get down to the actual area. Like, where's the entrance? Is it a secret entrance? Is it a public entrance? Is it a ladder? I gotta think about that for a minute, and I will probably come back to you when I have that answer and a little bit of something built. Okay, so I got a little bit of a working idea here. So I just blew all this up with TNT because I still don't know how to do things efficiently in creative mode. So TNT just felt proper for it being a mine. And this is the idea. So it's a fake elevator with a fake lever, but I think it sells the vibe. You get onto this elevator and it takes you down into the hub area. I wish I knew how to make an actual elevator with a chain, but I don't think it's possible. So like most things in Minecraft, it is just purely form over function. So I'm basically ready to start building this area now. I have a kind of format ready, and I'm going to go into it. Okay, so my idea here is to have a sort of area up here that's a lookout for everything that's going to be this way. So we are going to expand this eventually, but I do want to finish these stairs first. I think I just made a face by accident. Yeah, I kind of made like a little like golem. Is this a tough golem by accident? I don't really remember exactly what it looked like, but I guess I can lean into the face idea. Okay, so my idea is that this will be like a sort of registering center. So like you come down to the mines, right? You come down here and you come to this area to get yourself registered for work. I don't know if that's a practice they actually had, but I like to think that there's a place that you either punch in or I don't know. It's Minecraft. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go. I don't know if they had this practice in real life or not, but I just have to salvage this somehow, and I need a use for this area and a reason for this building to actually be asymmetrical. All right, here we go. It's going to be the resource center. This is where everybody's going to come to get themselves checked in, talk to, I guess, the people in charge of operation, and I guess get food, because there's that there. So we could have a chest. Now, I do know that this is a mine, and maybe it doesn't make the most sense to have a sort of registering center here, but just hear me out. I mean, it does make sense that there are people in charge. So I feel like it's only fair that there would be a registering center. I guess maybe a villager would make sense. Yeah, you can be in charge, Bob. Please don't leave or escape or anything like that. You can't do that, right? You can have a friend too. There you go. Boom. You're in charge of the mine and all of the miners. Yeah, you're in charge of them. Yeah, you be in charge. Good boy. Good. Very, very good boy. That's a good boy being in charge. He's so good at being in charge. Okay, so realistically, they land here and then they come off down these stairs. What's the first thing that meets them when they get here? Probably a sort of gear equipping station, I'd assume, right? So there would probably be chests full of pickaxes, stuff on the walls, maybe some armor, some mining gear. They probably used, like, iron picks, right? And presumably some sort of chainmail-esque armor. What if they had a sleeping quarters back here? You gotta assume that the people probably made space for whatever was available, basically. So they probably had to really cramp things in. So I feel like having a sleeping quarters just kind of like tucked in the back over here would probably make sense. Get back in there. Alright, you're dead. You're dead. Where did you go? Yeah, you're dead. You dare defy me? Yeah, no, it's too late. You can't go back. You're dead. Get out of here. Get out of here, you naughty boy. What kind of beds do they have? Black ones? Because they're covered in soot because they're big working men. What the heck? Boom, sleeping quarters. It's done. What do we put here? Sure, a warning sign. Because it's very dangerous to go to sleep. Boom. Oh, it's beautiful. I might just cry right now. I love that. Maybe even tilt one slightly. Oh my gosh. You can see the lantern through it. I don't think you realize how cinematic this is. Look at this cinematic shot. Look at this. Look at this. It's gorgeous. I think the cave is starting to come along nicely. But I forgot one feature that was very prominent in the photo, and that is there was carvings on the wall. And I had an idea for this on my way to work, and I just had to write it down. So the idea that I had was we could put pottery shards in the wall, but then put the actual carvings into them. So like, oh, the mushroom one would be perfect. Oh, this is a mining one. Sure, the skeleton, right? Where's the crafting menu? Do I have to actually use a crafting table to do this? This is so dumb. Wait, how do you... What? I thought you just put them in with the... Well, that's how you do it? Yeah, this is my idea. I feel like this is kind of cool. And then we can use brick and granite around it. Just normal brick and normal granite. Okay, I really like this. I know bricks don't naturally generate in a cave, but something about this just looks very almost mesmerizing. This turned out way cooler than I thought it would. I'm just gonna inset some of these like a block. I think that'll help give like a bit more depth. It turned out way cooler than I thought it would. Look at that, it's like this little carving into the wall. Now, I do want to use some glow lichen to light it up, because I feel like it kind of needs that. Now, I think one thing that does make sense is, since it is supposed to be a glowstone mine, is to put some glowstone into the walls. And it also kind of, like, helps light it up, too, which I think is a cool, like, double effect. Now, I'm actually kind of thinking, like, it doesn't make sense for there to be glowstone on the walls in a glowstone mine because they would have mined it. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I love the aesthetic. Like, it's a glowstone mine. You might as well put glowstone around. So what if they didn't mine some, right? It does change this from the original idea, though, of it being this kind of dim, low-light cave into this sort of bright fairy tale fantasy aesthetic. And honestly, I don't mind it. I actually really like how this is turning out so far. And this is just the hub area. We're actually going to have builds down here that qualify as houses. That is going to have to be it for today. Well, at least for me. I mean, this is going to take 2 seconds to transition for you guys, so that's nice. Okay, so I am starting to actually punch out holes for this, and in the process of, I found a cave. So that's nice. I can probably incorporate this in some way. Okay, I had a fantastic idea. How about, instead of building down here, we still stick to actually mining out the areas, because I feel like it's kind of cheating to use this as living space, and I don't really know how I'd make that work exactly, to be honest. Actually, I gotta turn these, give me a second, I gotta turn these particles off. Okay, so I'm thinking glass bridges, and then we can carve out these areas here and make the houses and shops and everything that's going to be here inside of the top of the cave. And then you have this beautiful view of the cave below you. I think this is, like, honestly a very fantastic idea. So I'm going to get started on building the first few builds, and I will get back to you when I have some progress. Okay, so I did quite a bit of building off of camera, and this is the kind of vibe that I have for the city area. So it'll go into an area that was already kind of mined out, and obviously it is quite bright in here. I do have my night vision off now, but honestly, I kind of like the vibe. It's bright, but we're going to make the actual rooms inside of here a lot more dim and calm, because I feel like that makes sense. But yes, back to what I was saying. So the idea is that there's going to be these little pockets of mine, and there's going to be houses inside of these areas, maybe 2 or 3 per little mine pocket. And then eventually we'll have maybe a community area mined out, and we're just going to kind of go from there. And I'm super excited to see how this turns out. So I will get back with you when I finish one of these rooms, and we'll see kind of what the standard is for the rest of the rooms. I don't know what kind of candle to use. We'll use brown. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Huh! Wait. Yep. Oh my gosh, it's peak. Yep, it's done. Wait, let's actually. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's peak right there. That is the definition of peak. It's sublime. It looks nice. Yeah, remember our friend Pal Hanging Moss? Yeah, he's back. Yeah. Wait. Let me see. Is that any better? I think I like that more, yeah. That can come around like that, I guess. I have finally finished the first house, and I think this is the sort of vibe that I want to go for. Lots of reds, grays, and browns. I've tried to use the red, besides for like the ceiling sparingly, so I could kind of have it as an accent piece, I guess. And I used a lot of grays and blacks. Tried to furnish up with some paintings, but I think overall it turned out pretty good. I also tried to keep minimal lighting with just the 2 copper bulbs and the 2 candles. I think that really sells the mood. And it's kind of nice to have these spaces be dim. Because, like, the rest of this build is very bright and overstimulating. So having, like, just a chill area to kind of, like, juxtapose that is so nice. Alright, and now the second room is done. I think this one turned out pretty good, too. I like it. I really like this cozy vibe. Like, this minimal lighting. Oh, it just works so well compared to the overstimulating outside with all the glowstone. I really like it. And I decided to keep this little edge here of the outside instead of replacing it with the stone brick, because I kind of just, I don't know, I like that you can kind of see that it was carved out of the wall. But yeah, that is 2 rooms done. I think I'm going to take a break from these and start on more of a common area over in this area. I think that I'm going to be using tough bricks and, what is this, polished tough? Yeah. For the walls here, I think taking a break from the extreme red tones all over the place and kind of giving this more of like a neutral grayish color, I think helps with the kind of overstimulating feeling I've been having, especially with this area. Like, this is very bright. In fact, I might actually just replace this stone with tough. I think that'll really help sell the... Okay, freaking alarm going off. Why did I set an alarm for 7 p.m.? When did that... Why would I set that? Anyway, I think replacing these with some tough, because this is a darker color, will really help with the overstimulating feeling. And I think it'll make the reds actually stand out even more, which will be nice. There. I think that helps with some of the overstimulating feeling from the stone. Then for the ceiling, I think I'll just use these chiseled tough bricks. Now, I don't know exactly what the go-to food source would be, but I think that fish might actually be a good idea. That could be like their food source of choice around here. I don't really know like where they would get it from exactly, but I don't know. Maybe there's like a fishing village on top. Maybe that could be like a part 2 to the video. We make like an above ground fishing village that's kind of like connected to this lore wise. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of building everything in the same world. But for now, I think that is actually going to call it for this video. There's just a few little touch-ups I want to do in this area. Add a few paintings. You know, really prettify it up. So I think my idea for this is that since I'm not going to be finishing this today, I might as well block this off. You know what I mean? To make it look like mining actually ceased here at some point. Since this was a former mining colony. At least that's kind of the idea. Maybe we could just populate this place with a few villagers. Just kind of have them, like, walk around to make it feel more alive. Boom! People! Before we actually end the video here, I'm going to do a full tour of the entire build. Starting from the top. So we started with this web. Okay. We started with this garden area here and this little lovely path to the inside. And then this little mushroom grotto cave. And then we have this fake elevator that's supposed to take you down to here. We have the resource center, the place where they would get all of their mining equipment. Some carvings on the wall, left by the workers presumably. A sleeping quarters, generally for the workers. A resource center. This is where you would like sign in and get yourself situated for work. And then this way is the actual mines themselves. These are boarded off, of course, because it's no longer open to the public. And then we have the sleeping quarters. This is the more like deluxe sleeping quarters. I think putting 3 guys in here was probably a mistake. And then finally we have the community center, or I guess the mess hall. This is where you would go to eat and just talk and hang out, have a good time or whatever. That is going to call it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, and maybe hype the video if you have any of those left. Might actually release this on a Monday, so I can I can manipulate you guys into using all of your hypes. Anyway, if you'd like to join a Discord server as well, there is one in the description. It's my Discord server. Every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a movie night and or a game night. So you guys can join me there for that, and we can get in a VC together and watch any movie. You guys get to pick, so make sure to leave it in the suggestions channel in the Discord. And that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you later. Bye-bye.